Hi everyone! Welcome back to MomNMeBeauty. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be doing 2 tutorials with the same palette. I do one, Emma does one, and then we're going to go over our review. Now the palette that we've chosen is a relatively new one. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. We did get one palette to share yesterday, but Emma has fell in love with it, so she's probably going to get one of her own. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. We do post 2 beauty videos a week. On Mondays is Mom and Me Day, and on Thursdays is either Teen Take with Emma or Mom Moment with me. We do have a focus on drugstore and more affordable brands, but today included, sometimes we do touch on higher end products. And without further ado, let's get started. So I've already put on all of my base products, my facial products like my foundation, my powder, my concealer, my blush, my highlighter, my contour. I've done all of that. So now all I've got left is my eyes. To start out, I'm going to be using my favorite primer. This is the Photofocus Eyeshadow Primer by Wet n Wild. And now to set that primer, I will be using the shade Base. And I'm just gonna blend that all over the lid again to set the primer and also cancel out any natural pigmentation that I have. Now these shades have a lot more pigment in them than maybe some other palettes that you have, especially drugstore. So you don't need a whole lot on your brush. You don't need to dig into the palette in order to get the amount of powder that you need. Next, for my crease color, I'll be using the shade Love. So incredibly pigmented, you do not need that much. And this is a matte shade. We'll see how the shimmer and sparkle shades behave. Okay, next up I'm gonna try the color Wild Child. This is a shimmer shade, I think. I don't really see any glitter in it. This I'm going to apply with a flat shadow brush, and I am going to use a little bit of MAC Fix Plus to make it wet before I apply it. So this shade is not nearly as powdery as the matte shade that I use for my crease, and the pigment is still there. I think it's just because they have to add in some sort of extra ingredient to turn from matte to shimmer, and I think that's what cuts down on the powderiness. So you don't have to be so careful in making sure that you don't dig into the pan. Next, for my outer corner, I'm going to go with the color Celestial. This is also a shimmer shade, and I might even blend it into the crease in between the matte shade I used for the crease and the lid shade. So that shade didn't give me the depth that I was looking for. I'm now going to try using the color Soul, again, in the outer corner and blending it in between the lid and the crease shade. Then with a clean, fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend that all in together so there's no harsh lines. For my brow bone highlight, there is not a good brow bone highlight in here, I gotta tell you. I guess I could try using a little bit more of the shade Base, which is what we use to set the primer. But to me, I need a brow bone highlight that's gonna be much brighter. For underneath my eyes, I am gonna use Celestial. It is a beautiful purple color, and I think it'll go nicely underneath. For my inner corner highlight, I will use the shade Dreamer, and I'll be applying this wet as well. Now I had every intention of applying my eyeliner and my mascara on camera, but that's not really gonna work. So let me do those 2 things, and then I'll zoom out and I'll show you the lip color that I've chosen to go with this look. So I've got my eyeliner on, I curled my eyelashes, I put on my mascara, so now we're gonna do the lip color. And I chose Revlon's Ultra HD lipstick in the shade number 705 HD Dawn. This lipstick is so comfortable. Unfortunately, it doesn't like dry down, so that means it doesn't lock down and you do have to reapply. But the color is gorgeous and makes your lips feel so moisturized and so comfortable. It's like you've got nothing on your lips. So really good lipstick. So that is my completed look with Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. On to Emma.
So I'm going to start with my eye primer, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. Girl Concealer and my e.l.f. powder. The concealer is in light ivory. So the first eyeshadow that I'm going to use is going to be the shade Incense. And I'm going to apply that in the crease. So my next shade that I'm going to use is the shade Soul. Now I'm going to apply that on my lid. Next, I'm going to take the shade Celestial, and I'm going to apply that from my inner corner to about where my outer corner would be on my lid. And I'm going to apply that wet. I'm going to apply the shade Passion on my outer corner, but I'm going to apply it very lightly. And then for brow bone highlight, I'm going to use the shade Base. And then for inner corner highlight, I'm going to use the shade Dreamer. So I'm going to apply some lipstick, and the lipstick that I'm going to wear is the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Rosebud. So that is it for my makeup look. So now that we both have finished our makeup looks, I have to say that I love this palette. I guess it's no surprise. The colors are great. The formula is great. All of the eyeshadows applied nicely onto my eyes and onto my brush. The only thing I do have to say is that some of the colors on me range a little dark. But otherwise, great palette. I love the packaging. And I am naturally drawn to purples because amethyst is my birthstone. So I'm gonna obviously love purple. But yeah, great palette.
I also absolutely love this palette. I was a little upset though that there weren't more purple shades in here. Out of the entire palette there are 14 shades. Of those 14, 3 are true purples. The rest range from pinks to browns that pull cooler, so they've got maybe a little bit of purple undertones in them. But straight out looking at them, you'd say they were browns or shades of like taupes or beiges. So that I'm a little upset about, but it's all the colors in here are completely in my wheelhouse. This is my palette. This is something that I would reach for time and time again, and I will continue to reach for over and over and over again. The matte shades, they're extremely pigmented, so please, if you get this palette or any of the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, any matte shades, you barely have to put your brush into the pan. Barely, in order to get a ton of powder on there. If you are not watching what you do and you just dip your brush into the pan like you would with any other palette, you're going to start wasting product. You're going to start having all this powder sitting in your pan that you're eventually going to have to blow off or knock out or what have you. So a little goes a long way, people. Really, a little goes a long way. They blend out fantastic. The shimmer shades, which are all the shades on the top row, so the entire top row is nothing but shimmer shades. Those you don't have to be so careful about in terms of getting too much powder. because they really don't pick or kick up any powder at all that I noticed. And then the entire bottom row is nothing but matte shades. Those are the ones you have to be careful with. So that being said, they blend out really, really well. I find that applying a shimmer shade to my lid in my tutorial worked out great with it wet. Again, you can try with your finger and see if that works for you, if that picks up or intensifies the pigment a little bit more for you. The velvet feel on the outside is typical Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's very soft. Love the packaging. It's very sturdy too. They do include a brush in the palette for you if you choose. One end is like a soft fluffy brush to blend. The other one's a flat shadow brush to apply to your lid. They do have a mirror in here. Very typical for this size palette. No complaints there. So yeah, all around very happy with this palette, and I will be reaching for it frequently.
And that is it for this video. We both hope you enjoyed. Be sure to comment down below if you have this palette and if you like this palette, what your thoughts are. Some people are saying that it's almost like part 2 of Subculture. I personally didn't have a problem with that palette, so I couldn't voice that to you.
I think the complaints were centered around the powderiness of it, but it's because it's so highly pigmented. The majority of that powder is pigment. It is not like fillers, so you're going to have that problem if you're not watching what you're doing.
Be sure to give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe down below, and hit the little bell next to it to be notified of all of our new videos. Be sure to connect with us on Instagram under MomNMeBeauty, and with me under Emma_and_2004. We both hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time in our next MomNMe video.
Bye everyone!